part 6 of module 4. In today's session we will see how conditions and Boolean arrays. We'll also learn how we can do shape manipulation in arrays using functions like reshape function, ravel function, shape and transpose function. Today's class we will see, we'll try to work on using Jupyter Notebook and JupyterQTconsole. So if you have installed your Anaconda successfully as discussed in the lecture 2, then when you go to the start terminal you should be able to get Jupyter here. See, this is the Jupyter Notebook, or search for it and just double click on it. If you want to work on using the Jupyter console, then just type here JupyterQTconsole. Even that is installed in my system, so just double click on it to open it. So once you have opened your Jupyter Notebook, it looks or your Qt console. Let's first see the Qt console. I'll just increase the size of the font. Okay, I don't know. So now this is our Qt console. So just zoom in. Okay, I think now it's visible. So this is our Qt console. So if you have successfully installed your Jupyter Notebook, and ensure that the NumPy package is installed successfully. We have discussed this in the lecture 2 as well as in lecture 3, how to install the NumPy package. You can either use a Conda terminal depending upon which platform you have, Linux, Windows or Fedora. Just go through the session of lecture 3 where you can see how you can install NumPy. So once it is installed successfully, if you import your NumPy, it shouldn't be giving you any errors. So there is no error here. So now you can just create your array as you have done like before and work on it. Okay, so let's first do our first program in Qt console, and next we'll go to the notebook. So coming back to the session, so first let's see what is a conditions and Boolean arrays. See, in the last class we saw how we can extract a part of an array. We saw indexing, we saw slicing. Now we can also extract some elements of the array using the conditions and the Boolean operator. So let's see this example. See, we have constructed a unidimensional array called as A. Now suppose I want to extract values. So we have used here random function. So what is a random function is going to do is it's going to construct a 4x4 array with random values. So every time the content of this array would be changing. So we are going to use the condition called as a less than 0.5. So when I say that, so whichever element is having the value less than 0.5, there true value is going to be generated. Else, if suppose a value is greater than 0.5 or equal to 0.5, there false would be generated. So this is the result that we are supposed to get. Okay, so let's try this on the Qt console. So let's first create an array. Let's create a simple we will also use the random function. Okay, so we will construct a 4x4 array. Okay, so now let's see how the array looks. So this is our 4x4 array. So every time you execute this function, it will be different values will be generated. So now I want to apply the Boolean condition on this. Let's say a greater than 0.5. So when I give a condition like this, wherever the values are greater than 0.5, their true value would be put, and wherever the values are less than 0.5, a false value would be put. So this is one way of extracting the extracting the conditions of the elements of the array. Now suppose we can use the same a less than 0.5. I can use this as an index, or I can put it directly inside the square brackets, something like we have here. So when I put this condition as inside the square brackets, then all the elements which satisfies that condition, that would be displayed. So for example here, now I will write the array as A, and inside the square brackets if I give the condition A greater than 0.5, then what happens, I will be generating an array which is only having elements greater than 0.5. See, this array which we had now, so all those values which are greater than 0.5, only that are there in our new array A. This is our original array, but see, the condition is not going to substitute or update our existing array. So you can see that array A is as usual as it was originally built. But when I apply this condition A, let's say greater than, okay, let me say the conditions which doesn't exist. So then what happens? A, okay, now that A greater than or less than 0.5, see, all the values which is less than 0.5, that would only be generated. So basically this is like I'm extracting some elements of the array based upon a certain condition. So this is one way of extracting the elements of an array using the conditional statements and also the Boolean logic. Now let's go to the next topic called as shape manipulation. So we can do manipulation of the array, and there are some functions which will help us. So first function that we are going to see is reshape function. So what does a reshape function do? It will convert a one-dimensional array into a matrix. So see this example. Here I have generated a one-dimensional array because I have specified 12. So that means an array with 12 elements with random values are generated here. Now this is a one-dimensional array. If I can change this into a two-dimensional array where I can specify the row and the column number using the reshape function. So let's try this in the Jupyter Notebook now. So once your Jupyter Notebook is successfully launched, where is this? This is the console. Okay, so let's open the Jupyter Notebook. It's not open in the system. Yes, the Jupyter Notebook is now successfully opened. So it looks like this. So it will be open. It will open in the local host 8889. Okay, so now if you want to create your file, you just click on this new button here, and there you can go for Python 3. So click on Python 3. Now so let's launch it again. Looks like there was a problem in the previous session. Okay, now I have launched. You can go either for Python 3 or the other option too. So once it is launched successfully, this is our notebook where I want to execute my program. So first let's name our file. So by default untitled 3 will be there. You can just rename it. You can just click on that, or here also there is an option for renaming. So when you click on that, you just give a name to your file. Let's say PG2. So now here I can do my programs. First let's import the NumPy, and as I said, don't press enter, because if you press enter it's just going to create a new line. So to execute you have to click on this button, run cell, and if there is no error, then that means it is successfully executed. Now let's just try the reshape manipulation function. So reshape function, what we are going to do here is, it has to, let's first generate a one-dimensional array, and then let's apply the reshape function on that. Okay, so let's first generate an array. A is equal to np dot random dot random. Right, let's create a one-dimensional array, because what does the reshape function do? It's going to convert the one-dimensional array into a multi-dimensional array or two-dimensional array. So let's say like this. So when I say like this and execute, and let's see what's there in A. See, array A is generated with random numbers, and there are 12 elements in this, and this is a unidimensional array. Now I want to convert this into a multi-dimensional into a two-dimensional array, and I want to store it in another variable. So let's say capital A is equal to small a dot reshape. Let me reshape this to 3 cross 4. Now execute again. And now when I say capital A and execute, you can see that, right, I have created a 1, 2, 3, 3 cross 4 column array. So reshape function has converted our unidimensional array into a two-dimensional array. Okay. So let's see the next function. You just have something called as shape function also. Now what does shape function do? Here the syntax is a little bit different. So when I say a dot shape is equal to 3 cross 4, so basically I am going to assign a tuple, right, directly to the shape attribute here, therefore directly changing this array. So directly I am changing this array. So let's see this. See what happened in the previous cases. If you actually see small a, that has not changed. Okay, so there is a difference between reshape and shape. Reshape function will change unidimensional array to two-dimensional, and it will, we are going to put it to a new array, right? But the original array will not be updated. If you use reshape, you can generate a two-dimensional array, but the original array is not updated. But when you use shape function, the original array is updated. See, in this case, when I use reshape, the array remained as it is, right? So it does not update the existing array. So if you want to update the existing array, just use the shape function, say a dot shape, and then specify the dimensions of what you want. Okay, so a dot shape is equal to 3 comma 4 you have to do. Okay, so when you do this and execute, now check a. See, now the array a has changed to 3 cross 4. Okay, so please get this point. The difference between reshape and shape is, in reshape the function remains the same, but in reshape the existing the original array does not change. But when you use a shape function, the original array is updated. Now let's go to the next function, that is a ravel function. So ravel function is used to convert a reverse. I'm going to convert two-dimensional array to one-dimensional. So it's doing the reverse. So how do you do it? So just say a dot ravel. Okay. So let's go back to that notebook, and we will apply this ravel function on that. So now a is a two-dimensional array. I want to convert it back. So what do you do? The reverse is a dot ravel, and then execute. So now you can see that. See, here a is two-dimensional because there is a comma here, but here you can see now a is converted back to unidimensional. Okay, so ravel function does the reverse. It converts back the two-dimensional array to one-dimensional array. Now there is one more function called a shape function. The shape function is also used to convert a two-dimensional array into a one-dimensional array. Shape function. See, shape I saw here as well, right? So the difference is what you specify, what value you give. If you give two values to it, it will be converted into two dimension. For your shape function, if you give just one value, then it will convert it into that dimension. So shape is basically going to reshape that array to whatever index you give. It doesn't mind whether it's two-dimensional or one-dimensional. Okay, so now here I have two dimensions here, right? Now this a is actually one-dimensional. Now if I want to make it two-dimensional, again do the same thing. A dot shape is equal to 3 comma 4. See, now if you check a, it is now two dimension. Again I want to put it back. Then again you can use the shape function itself. Just specify 12 here as the value within the parenthesis. See, again it is converted back. So shape, what it is doing is, depending upon what index you give. If you give two index from one dimension, it makes it to two index or two-dimensional array. If you just give one index and apply it on a two-dimensional array, it's going to do the reverse. So shape is going to achieve what you want. Now the last function is transpose function. This is, as a word itself says, this is just going to transpose your matrix. You must have studied matrix in your school days. What is transpose of a matrix? It's just the inversion. The rows are changed into columns, the columns are changed into rows. So let's see this on the notebook. So let's say let's create a simple array. A, let's call it as B. B is equal to np dot, I will use the arrange function to create a, let's create a 3 by 4 matrix. Okay, so let's create a 3 by 4 matrix. So it's going to be 3 by 4, so I have to give some 12 elements here. Dot reshape, or let's say 3 by 3. Okay, 9 elements should be there. So if I give 4, 12 elements, I think this should work. Execute. Yes. No, I think there's a problem in the shape. Okay. B is equal to, just change this to 11. So I'm going to construct a 3 cross 4 matrix. So totally 12 elements should be there. So 1 to 11 elements you're going to have sequentially. Oh, there is a problem in the shape. B is equal to, going to have, okay, 12 elements. Okay, let's make 16 elements. Keep it simple. Why is there is a problem? B is equal to np dot arrange, let's say 1 comma 9 dot reshape 3 comma 3. Let's try this. Even this is giving you an error. Now what's the problem with this? It's saying that you cannot reshape array of size 8. Okay, the size is wrong. Okay, so there's a value a problem in this number. Yes, so the problem was in the number. So that's why please see the errors and try to work on it. See, now I've created a 3 cross 3 array with the values like this. So upon this, if I apply the transpose function, what happens? And now see B, the values have just inversed, right? You have just taken the transpose of the matrix. 1 to 3 row is now there in the column, 4 5 6 row is now in the column, 7 8 9 row is now in the column. So you have just transposed the matrix. Okay, so these are just simple functions. Work on this to get an idea of how it works. So just to quickly recollect today's class, we studied about conditions and Boolean arrays. So this is also one way of extracting the elements of an array based upon a certain condition. And we also saw some shape manipulation. If you want to do shape manipulation on an array, these are some of the functions: reshape function, shape attribute, ravel function, and transpose function. So try all these commands. Try to use Jupyter Notebook and Jupyter QTconsole for executing these commands. Thank you.